Hey folks, happy Saturday morning rant. I want to talk about foundations this morning. Not just foundations, but the people who work at them. Foundations, there's the obvious thing about foundations, which is like they have a tremendous amount of power. People who build nonprofits go to private foundations mostly to raise money to be able to do their work, to either do advocacy, organizing, activism, direct services, et cetera, et cetera. And people know I'm in the business of helping nonprofits to raise money, so I get to see foundations and how they operate all day through the eyes of many different leaders. And it gets I don't understand how it gets lost on people who work for foundations, how much power they have, and how telling someone that you can't do a meeting for months is problematic, or that you have a new leader and you're undergoing strategic planning for months, and what the impact of that is on people and their clients and the constituency they're trying to serve. Or that the foundation is doing a strategic pause for some other reason. Like, that shit is problematic. Like, that just means that good work doesn't happen. Like, does that get lost on y'all, that good work doesn't happen because y'all are fucking navel gazing or whatever you're doing? Or like self-aggrandizing, or just justifying your fucking existence. Like, can't you work for a foundation and just have the humility to be like, yo, I'm here to take money that was amassed by some wealthy family, some wealthy person, and that kind of money we all know gets amassed through doing some really fucked up shit in this country. But it is what it is. There's no clean money. But now you're in charge of that money, and suddenly it's all about you. How the fuck is it all about you? Like, isn't there like a responsibility to realize that like your job is to actually move that money out the door to people doing good work? And if that's the case, then why the fuck we got to do a different application for every foundation? Why we got to have a different deadline for every foundation? Why by the time you say yes, there's like 3 fucking days to get the application in and the budget and no room for feedback? Why? Why? Like, if y'all are really in the business of moving money out the door, why make it so fucking difficult to move money out the door? So like, number one is just like standardize your fucking applications. Like, y'all do the bureaucratic thing with each other, but like make it less bureaucratic for people running nonprofits to try to get some of that money. Because otherwise, like, all we really doing is living year to year. And that's the other thing. Like, people's lives don't work like that. Like, fucking oppression and the harm that's caused by governmental structures and other policies and so on in this country, like, that shit doesn't work on a 12-month cycle. Y'all want us to do good work on a 12-month cycle. It takes more than 12 months to change the world. It just does. So like, we're begging for money every 12 months, and the truth is it's not even 12 months, because at like 8 or 9 months you're starting to worry about whether you're going to get the grant to re-up, whether you're going to be able to keep that staff member on, whether you're going to be able to keep the work going, whether you're going to be able to keep the consultant you need to be able to do the work. So foundations need to get it together. But foundation program officers for a second. I want to talk about foundation presidents, but let me go to foundation program officers for a second. Like, when I first started doing this work, it's already been a quarter fucking century. Hard to wrap my head around. But like, it was mostly white women program officers in the space that I worked in. And then there was like white men program officers. Then we got some black folks up in there, and everybody's like, yeah, shit gonna change now. And that kind of didn't happen. Then we got people with lived experience up in there, and that was supposed to be a game changer. Except, if you've been around long enough like I have, you know that just because one motherfucker makes it through the door doesn't mean they're not gonna slam that shit behind them. And I'm not saying everybody's malicious and you slam it because you don't want nobody else to come through, because some of y'all slam it because you just don't even know how to operate in that environment. You don't know how to be strategic, and you don't realize what the mission is. You just don't even understand the assignment. You don't understand it, because the assignment is to actually rip the fucking hinges off the door and make room for other people to get in. And instead, what ends up happening is like, people get on the whole "I'm just happy to be here" kick. I'm just happy to be here. We lucky we got a person directly impacted working here, and so I don't want to fuck that up. No, we kind of do want you to fuck that up. Like, we do want you to fucking take personal and professional risks to rip that fucking hinge off the door. That is the fucking assignment. Or you're like, Oh, you got to understand, I got other people I need to answer to. There's a lot of rules and procedures. I'm just the program officer. No, motherfucker, you in there. You in there. So when you in meetings, speak up. When you on strategic planning sessions, speak up. When you on Zoom calls, speak up. When your knees are fucking shaking, speak up. That's why you there. That's the fucking assignment. You get in, rock them to sleep to get in, whatever you got to do. Do the interview all fucking buttoned up, wear a suit, wear a tie, whatever you need to do to make them think you just a happy Negro and you're not going to cause no trouble. And then you come in and you fuck it up. That's your job. That's the fucking assignment. Because otherwise, you don't open the door for anybody else to get in, and you just end up being that happy, magical Negro sitting up in the ivory fucking tower with everybody checking the box. Because now we got DEI going on, we got diversity going on. Not only do we have a person of color, we have an LGBTQ person of color, formerly incarcerated, black man, black woman, blah, blah, blah. Check a box. We good. What does that do for the rest of us? So y'all in there, shake some shit up. And then let me tell you, if you became a program officer and you realized that your jokes got funnier, they didn't fucking get funnier. That's a symbol of you having power. People are laughing at your corny ass jokes because they want you to be like, oh yeah, submit a proposal. And stop telling me if I submit a proposal, you can't guarantee that I'm going to get funded. That fucking standard disclaimer is so fucking annoying. I knew that the minute I fucking sent the email to your ass that there's a chance I'm not going to get funded. How long you want to keep me stressed the fuck out? Until the last minute, until the check's in the bank and actually cashed? Because that's the game y'all play too. That's the game y'all play. Actually, if you don't even think you can move money to me, don't even take the fucking phone call. Don't take the phone call. Some foundations be like, oh, we don't really do that kind of work. We don't serve that population. We don't fund that strategy. We don't fund in that city. We don't fund in that state. We don't fund in that region. But I'll do a phone call with you if you want to do a phone call. Let me know. Bitch. Like, no, I don't fucking want to do a phone call with you. Like, that fucking hour that I'm going to sit on the phone with you for you to be like, you're doing really good work. You guys are doing really good work. If anything changes around here, we'll call you. You're doing really good work, though. I knew I was doing really good work when I built this nonprofit. When I fucking gave up time with my family and my children to build this shit and to come begging you for money, I knew I was doing good work. Just fucking tell me no from the rip, and I won't waste your time. Man, if I gotta tell you, I see, and let me pull the lens back even further. Let's talk about foundation presidents. Like, you become a foundation president, like, you came in, you want to leave your signature on the foundation. I get it. The foundation's 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 100 years. And so you want to make sure when you walk away, people can be like, oh yeah, that was Glenn Martin. He was the president from 2024 to 2028. And he did, okay, that's all good. I get it. Everybody wants a fucking legacy. You want a legacy, great. But plan that shit while you waiting to start the job. Like, plan that shit before. To issue a motherfucking concept paper, tell the team what direction you're going, fire who the fuck you need to fire, give people new titles, change the website, and get to giving out money. If I went to the motherfucking bank and they were closed for 4 months because they're fucking doing a strategic pause, I'd flip the fuck out. That's who y'all are. Y'all are the bank for nonprofits. So if you're a president, you coming in, you want to make your mark, like, plan that shit early and fast. You got enough money to move as fast as you want. But people are dying in the meantime. People are suffering in the meantime. People want to do their work. People want to change the world. Everybody else is out here. Most people in nonprofits, they don't do that shit for the money. They want to fucking change the world. And you keep putting them on pause for months at a time because you're worried about your brand being on the foundation. And then lastly, people who want to start nonprofits. Why? Why? Ask yourself why you want to start a nonprofit. Because number one, if you can't answer the question for foundations, why you and not somebody else, then you shouldn't be starting a nonprofit. So that's number one. Number two, if you're not doing some shit different than what everyone else is doing, like really different, new, like some ingenuity shit, some entrepreneurial shit, then don't even bother. Like, why fucking walk into a space and increase the amount of fucking competition in the space? Because that's what it's all about. Nobody don't like to say it because it's like embarrassing for people doing good work to admit that they're competitive. But y'all are competitive. But why build some new shit to just add to the fucking competition? You know what you could do? Just go work for somebody else. Go work for another nonprofit. Move yourself into a position ultimately where you can build some shit, learn how to fundraise, and build that shit there. Eventually, the leader got to go or die or become obsolete. You can move up into lead. You ain't got to build a whole new fucking nonprofit. Like, that's not always the answer. And then if you do build a new nonprofit because you realize that what the fuck is out there is old, archaic, and that people are not moving out of the way, like, just recognize that you're running a fucking business. You're running a business. Like, I know you want to do good work and you want to do the shit on stage and you want to do the shit on social media and you want to show the impact that you're having on people. But, like, it's a business. And if you're not signing up for that, then don't sign up for none of this shit. Nobody wants to say it again because, like, if you're doing really good work, you shouldn't talk about the business side of it because capitalism is a bad thing. So you can't even use the word. It's a fucking business. Like, you're filing fucking tax documents each year. You're registering. You got to register with the attorney general's office. You got all this. You got to produce budgets each year. You got to have a governing board. Your board has to have meetings. Your board needs to keep minutes. Like, there's all this shit you need to do to run a nonprofit. You think that that's some fucking, like, bunch of people sitting around in the fucking Shire coming up with some kind of fucking thing that's going to save the village? No, it's a fucking business. And if you decide to get into it, great, but get into it eyes wide open and do the business side of it too. Don't just do the good side. Don't just do the I want to hug people in public and take pictures and make it look like I'm doing good work. I get that. You're doing good work. That's all going to happen. But you also run the business. So every once in a while, sit behind your fucking computer and realize that there's people relying on you for their fucking paycheck and they expect you to fucking make sure the audit is done, make sure the board meets, make sure you have fucking health care. It's a business. That's what I got for y'all today. That's going to allow me to go live and enjoy the rest of my fucking weekend without worrying about a motherfucker trying to steal my rainbow. But I hope nobody steals your rainbow either. And if you work in foundations, recognize you own the pot of gold at the fucking end of the rainbow and stop holding on to that shit like it belongs to you. Have a great weekend, folks. Don't let nobody steal your rainbow. Peace.